Hello and welcome to your Zea Taser configuration and installation guide. This will basically cover how to install Zea Taser, how to fully configure it to your desires, such as implementing custom taser models or normal taser models. It will also show how to integrate it with Discord and vice versa. So first off, what you're going to do is you're going to head onto your Keymaster by just googling it, log it in and searching for Zea Taser. Once you have searched for Zea Taser, you're basically going to go to your downloads tab and you will get this. As you notice, it is zipped, so you need to extract it. For this, you can either just extract it straight to your desktop, or you can optionally extract it using WinRAR. For simplistic reasons, I'm just going to extract it and see how long that takes. Once that's been extracted, that should head onto your desktop. So here's mine. I'm then going to open it. We're going to take a look at some of the features that are in this taser script. So if we look into the stream folder, you can see that we've got a custom taser 7 model that has been provided to us with the rope. We have custom webhooks that we can set up through the settings and other places. So this is what the config is going to look like. So as currently you can see, we have these pretty important. So we've got your reload keybind, and we've also got auto detect. And then on top of that, we've also got the break distance for how far away someone would need to run to break the barbs, and then your ragdoll time. We're then going to look into very quickly the config of the individual weapons, so the tasers. So as default, you could drag and drop this in and it'll work straight away. However, you won't get any of the special features such as custom models, changing how many cartridges you want, or how many vice versa. So first off, we're going to start off with the top. So auto detect taser, we're going to set this to true. This will basically mean as soon as I pull out the weapon that's listed here, it'll automatically utilize the script. I'm also going to set the reload keybind to true, because it just saves with the hassle. We're then going to move down to the taser models. So if you haven't got a custom model for your taser, this will work just fine. You can change it, you can update it, you can change max fire distance, prong penetration chance, and per cartridge. So for this, the prong penetration chance, this is a percentage, so it's 100% currently. So if you set this 75%, there's only a 75% chance that the prongs will actually penetrate and work, where there's a 35% chance that they won't. So from that, I personally, in my server, I have custom models for my tasers. So I'm going to basically take you through how to implement them as a custom model, and then vice versa. So first off, with the custom models, you need to have them working in-game as a full custom model. Then what we're going to do is we're very simply going to change the spawn code of the weapon. So for example, X2Y, and then obviously here is the model name. You can change that to whatever you want. So for me, I'm just going to change it to X2Y, and that's it. That's all you have to do to change the custom model. If I wanted to add more to the model, literally you will grab from here, copy this, copied. So that is now on my clipboard. Just scroll down to the bottom here, press enter, paste, and then literally just tidy it up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my other model, which is the X26. So X26Y and X26Y. And I'm going to change the cartridge count to 1, because obviously the X26 only carries 1 cartridge. I'm not going to change the prong chance or the max fire distance. However, I can do that depending on what taser I have, because I know there is certain taser models that have longer range cartridges. Once again, the firing sound, you can change this. Obviously, you change it in the different ways, and obviously this is how loud it is from what distance. You can utilize me changing the lasers. It's not preferred that you mess with this unless you know what you're doing, because they are already configured. Same with the flashlight. You can increase the brightness of the flashlight and the distance. Feel free to fully configure this. So now we're going to get down to a little bit of the important parts for if you want certain resistant clothing towards tasers. So here is your pets. So basically you will put whatever number it is for your slot number, and this will basically make it so the taser wouldn't affect it as much or at all, depending on if you set it properly. So obviously you can tweak this as well, which is the percentage chance, I'm assuming. So then obviously you can change them to the different slots. So we'll scroll down a bit more. These are all your animations. I would not recommend you touch these because if you break them, you'll have to reinstall it. So now what we're going to go back down to is we're going to go down to the keybinds. So here's your mapped keybinds that you can change and alter. However, you can also do this in game. You could also set hints, use keybinds and more, and then obviously change a lot of different things. I would not recommend you change the themes. So now we've configured that. We now have 2 taser models, including, and that's not including the X7. We're now going to save this because this will now work. So now what we're going to move on to is the Discord integration side. So we're going to go out of this. We're then going to go to core. We're going to go to server, classes. Then we're going to see the webhooks channel. So for the webhooks, it's really simple. You literally going to delete this and head into your Discord server, like so. Server settings, integrations. You're then going to look for your webhooks for your taser. So let's find taser. Here we are. Copy URL. We're then going to input this URL here, save that. We're then going to go back out of that file and out of that folder. We're then going to go to event managers. Negative, I apologize. I'm going to go to event handlers, and then we're basically going to set these to true. So if you only want webhook logging, where it will send a message, then you only turn this one on. If you want screenshots for when tasers are deployed, you turn them both on. So now we're going to save that. So I have already have a configured version of this in my server. So what we're going to quickly do in a minute, once we've set that up and we've put that in the resources folder, making sure it is fully insured and started, we're then going to load into the server. And once we've loaded into the server, I'll take you through how to actually use the taser and what to do with it. Welcome to the in-game section of the taser guide. So now obviously, as you can see, we can see if it's in the server properly. But if we navigate to the keybind section, scroll down to the bottom, you see all these keybinds. So the keybinds that you will obviously require, I've obviously got this set up for my controller as well as having it set up for everything else. So you have your default keybinds, so your arcing, show interaction eye, built-in laser, built-in light, and safety switch. If you do not have these set up, or you'll know them, you will not be able to utilize the taser. It is very important that you check that you have them keybinded. So now what I'm going to do, and I'm going to spawn in my taser, so weapon underscore x2y. So now you should see I got a little UI. You can change where this UI is. You can check the keybind, not the keybinds. You can check the slash command on the documentation on the Zea Development.shop website. There's a link to head to documentation, and then all the slash commands are there. But for this example, just going to show you how to utilize the taser and then go from there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm basically going to spawn a test pad. So very quickly, you do this command, then it's test ped. It will now spawn a version of myself with a weapon, obviously. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to obviously take our safety off. this will log in the Discord. I'm now going to aim my taser. Obviously, there's my lasers. You can see them, and there's a flashlight. So now, when I deploy the taser, you will obviously get the audio of the taser deploying. You'll be able to see the barbs. So I would say I have good barbs right now, obviously. So you can see they are a physical object. I'm going to turn the safety off quickly, walk up to him. And obviously, there's my interaction. Remove barbs. And now I've removed the barbs. And obviously, would reload the taser. So that's the first part. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to taser him again. Now I've got the ragdoll once again. So now he's still not compliant, so I'm going to re-energize him. So now obviously he has been re-energized. Then I'm going to also put my safety back on, remove the barbs. So then once again, remove barbs, reload. Obviously, if I was to remove the cartridges real life on the X2, be able to drive stun. So here we are, here's a drive stun. You get the sound effect. It's very simple, very easy to use. There is a range for this, so if I now move away pretty far, as you can see, my barbs have just broken purely because I'm out of range. And the way I can tell is obviously I've not got the barbs connected anymore, and I've also got that little interaction in the top right. So there is a range. So if I'm around here, I am obviously trying to taser him. It's not going to work. Where if I get a little bit closer, there we are. Obviously it will work. So now I've discharged my taser. Obviously, you're gonna want to make sure that they're okay in the safe. So you remove your barbs, and you could continue with your roleplay. From what I'm aware, there is many different ways to complete it, and many different ways to enjoy it. Please leave your support with customer reviews and in the support channel if you have any issues, because one of our staff members will be very happy to help. And then on top of that as well, it is a brand new resource. A lot of people will be using it. It will hopefully become the new norm. So please give it the time, enjoy it. If you have any issues, please tell us. Very quickly, whilst I move on to this, is I'm going to move on to the logging. So if I very quickly change my window to my display capture, then we should be able to see. So here we are. There's a screenshot of me tasering him, and then here's your log. Once again, thank you for watching and enjoying this guide. Hopefully it will help you when you are trying to install Zea Taser. If you have any issues, please put a message in us in the support channel or open a ticket if there's a major bug.